Hello Pythonistas, and welcome to our 7th lesson in learning Python on the Circuit Playground Bluefruit edition. In this video, we're going to learn more about conditionals, and we're going to extend the if statement using the elif statement and the else statement. And we'll also learn about compound conditionals using and or to make those statements even more powerful. Now, in our last lesson, what we did was we created a while true loop that had two if statements in there. One said if button A dot value, which means if button A was being pressed, turn all of the lights or pixels red. And the second statement said if button B was being pressed, button B dot value is true, then turn all of the pixels or all of the lights blue. Now these are two separate statements here, so it'll execute this one, and then when it's done, it will execute this one. Since while true will go over and over and over and over again, as soon as it encounters a button A press, they'll turn red, and it'll remain red until someone presses button B. Then it will remain blue until somebody clicks button A again. These are two separate if statements. Now what we don't do is we don't have any condition where we'll turn the pixels off. What might be nice is, hey, why don't we leave the buttons red as long as button A is being pressed. If button B is being pressed, then let's turn all of the pixels or all of the lights blue. And if neither of these buttons is pressed, your fingers are taken off of them, then let's turn off all of the pixels. And we can do that by, instead of creating these two if statements, one if statement here and one if statement here, we're going to combine them in a single logical if statement that has three different parts. The first will say, if button A is being held down, turn red. But if button B is being held down and button A is not being held down, then turn them blue. And if neither button A nor button B is pressed, then turn all of the pixels off. Now, the way that we can create a single if statement that's got these three different conditions here is we can use elif and else. And this is the way the logic works. So inside of our while true loop, every time we go around here, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to check to see if button A is being pressed. That's what button A dot value does. It returns either true if it's being pressed or it's false if it's not being pressed. So if button A is being pressed, if that's true, then we're going to perform all of the indented statements. There's only one indented statement here, which means turn all of them red. And then once we're done, we're going to skip the rest of the statements in here after elif, after else, and we're going to go all the way to the end, and we're going to start while true again, listening to see if we have button A pressed or button B pressed or none of those conditions. Now, if we have the situation where button A is not being pressed, then we're going to skip over all of the indented statements and we're going to go down to the next part of our if condition, which is elif, which is else if you can think of it as, button B is being pressed. So if button B dot value is true, meaning button B is being pressed, then we're going to execute all of the statements that are indented after this true condition. Now, once we've executed all of them, there's only one statement here, we're going to skip right to the end. Now you can probably guess what would happen with else. We could have as many elif statements as we wanted in here, but if none of them were true, then we would skip all the way to the end. So if we had a situation where button A was not being pressed and button B was also not being pressed, well, we've exhausted all of our if and elif statements. So there's always only one if statement, but there could be many elif statements, and we'll see that in just a bit. But if nothing is true, then we jump all the way down to else, and we execute whatever is indented after the else condition, which in this case is turn all of the pixels black, and then we'll continue to go through our logic again and again and again, listening for different presses. So let's give this a shot. So this is the last code that we had set up in Moo, and we've got two if statements in here. So we check to see if this is true, we check to see if this is true, but these are considered to be two separate statements. Now, if we put elif in here, then this is considered to be a single statement. So what we're going to do is we're going to check to see if button A is being pressed. If not, then we'll jump down and we'll check to see if button B is being pressed. Now we could stop right here, but we're going to put in an else condition, which means if nothing is true, then go all the way down here, and in else what we'll do is we'll say pixels.fill black. And what we'll see there then is if we have one button pressed, we're red. If we have button B pressed, we're blue. Otherwise, we're going to turn the pixels black. Let's go ahead and click on the save button and see how things look when we run them on our device. So I'll press button A, we see red. Press button B, we see blue. And as soon as I take my fingers off, because we're looping around in the while true loop over and over and over again, we turn black. So again, A, B, A, B. If I press both of these down at the same time, the first thing that's encountered is button A being held down. So that's why even though button B is being pressed, button A remains held down here. Similarly, if I press button B, but then I go back to button A, since while true is always looping through, button A is encountered first, so that's why it shuts off the button B selection if both of them are pressed at the same time. Great. Now here's the next thing to consider. What if we wanted to evaluate if more than one condition were true at the same time? And to use this as an example, what we'll do is we'll evaluate if button A is being pressed and button B is being pressed at the same time. Then what we'll do is we'll turn all the lights green. Well, we can use the AND statement to create what we would call a compound conditional. So the way that this works is, look, there's an AND statement in between button A.value and button B.value. What this looks to do is check to see if this is true and this is true. So if both of them are true, then we consider the whole statement to be true, and then we will execute whatever is indented, and we'll skip to the end when we're done. Otherwise, we go to try out this condition, we try out this condition, and if none of them are true, then we go right to the else statement in here. So AND checks to see if this is true and this is true. If neither of them is true, or if only one of them is true, then we skip down and we try out the other conditions. So let's make the change here. We're going to take a look to see if button A.value and button B.value. So if this is true and this is true, then what we're going to do is we're not going to show pixels red, but we're going to make pixels green. And then I can just put my other statements in after here. I could probably have copy and pasted that, but I'll just retype them. elif button A.value, then we'll do pixels.fill red. Otherwise, we're doing pixels fill blue and pixels black. And notice we have two elif conditions here. So it'll evaluate all of these. It will stop as soon as it encounters something that's true. And if none of the conditions are true, neither the if nor either the elifs, then it'll go ahead and it will execute the else. So I'll go ahead and click on save. Notice that we have the indicator that we're saved here, and we'll see how things execute when we run them on our device. I'm going to click on button A, red, button B, blue, both buttons green, and if I take a finger off here, I can see I'm registering those buttons and nothing is on, then I get the pixels black. Good work. Now, one important thing to pay attention to is the order of the statements. So if we had changed and moved our button A and button B statement down here so that it's after the button A and the button B, watch what will happen. We can do this in real time. So if what happens here is it evaluates the first condition in a complex if statement like this, and it will stop after the first condition is true and go to the end, then if we take this first statement here, I'm going to put it back here so that it is actually the third true-false condition we evaluate in the if statement. I'll turn it into an elif statement, and I'll turn my first statement in here into an if condition. What we're going to do is we're going to evaluate and look first. Is button A being pressed? Nope. Is button B being pressed? Nope. Well, if we get down here to button A and button B, we know that neither button A or button B was pressed. So we'll never get to the third part with the compound statement. Also, if we press button A, then we're going to do what's here, and we're never going to check to see if button A and button B are pressed at the same time. Let's try this out. So I'll click on save, then we'll take a look inside, and if I press both buttons at once, look, button A is showing up red. Now I could take my finger off A and then B will turn blue, but if I put both fingers on, just red shows, and that's because the first condition that's encountered is button A being pressed? And if it is, I never get to that third condition, which is button A and button B being pressed. So the order matters. So just a little bit more about compound conditionals. Here are two truth tables to show how they work, both when we have an AND condition and this new condition we haven't talked about yet, OR. Now the first truth table shows how the AND condition works. The statement will only be true if expression A and expression B are both true at the same time. So if one of them is false, then the whole statement is considered to be false. That's why the buttons only turn green when the code is written properly when A and B are pressed at the same time. Now there's also an OR statement. What's interesting about OR is if either one or the other is true, so they can both be true, or just the first part or just the second part could be true, it will be considered to be true as well. So you've got what's called the logical AND, you've got what's called the logical OR. Hope that's helpful. Keep at it.